Did you know it's easy to make donut holes from scratch? And I'm not talking about cutting out little donut holes from the center of donuts. I'm talking about just making donut holes all by themselves. This is a from scratch recipe. They're super simple, and yes, you have to fry them, but it doesn't matter, it's worth the time.
Start out by whisking your all-purpose flour, 2 cups and 2 tablespoons, plus 2.5 teaspoons of baking powder and 1/4 cup of granulated sugar with 1/2 teaspoon of salt. Whisk it together, add in 1 cup of heavy cream and 1/2 cup of whole milk. This is my sweet cream biscuit recipe, but I kind of wanted to thin it out so it wasn't too rich, which is why I mixed up the milk with the heavy cream. And then I'm using a 1 tablespoon cookie scoop to scoop balls. Now you could scoop them right into the hot oil, but I like to just scoop them all ahead of time and place them on a baking sheet lined with parchment paper.
For frying oil, I just like using regular vegetable or canola oil.
You'll need about 5 cups or so of oil. And then while your oil is heating, go ahead and set out your cookie sheet with some paper towels for draining. Drop your donut holes 2 to 3 at a time into the oil to cook.
When you're frying, it's really, really important to use either a candy thermometer or an instant read thermometer so that you make sure that the oil gets to the right temperature. You want it at 350 for frying, and then you want to make sure, and you're going to have to kind of play with it a little bit with your stove top. I always turn my heat down on my stove so that the oil doesn't get too hot, but you don't want to turn it down so low that when you add the donut holes that the oil cools too much, because then the outside will get really greasy and brown and the inside won't cook. So you kind of have to play with it a little bit, play with the heat in your stove. It really depends on what kind of pot. Is it a heavy bottom pot or a lighter pot, and what kind of stovetop you're using.
Be sure to use a slotted spoon to kind of turn them over partway through cooking so that they can get evenly golden brown on all sides. Once they're cooked through, remove them with a slotted spoon to those paper towels that we prepared earlier so that they can drain a little bit.
These are moist on the inside, and there's so many ways that you can toss these. They're great even plain. I love tossing them in cinnamon sugar or plain sugar or powdered sugar, or you can even glaze them.
The powdered sugar glaze is just powdered sugar and milk. You don't want it to be too thick so that you can dip them, but you don't want it to be so thin it drips off.
And then once you're done, you can top these however you want. I love cinnamon sugar donut holes. These are really, really great. They're best warm, but they're even good cooled off later in the day or the next day. If you don't follow me already, be sure to subscribe to my channel and keep watching for more easy breakfast recipes.